Okay, and really good to be with you. Hi, hey Kenzo, hey Josie, how you doing today? What's up? How are you, Josie? You start.
I'm good. You know, I every time I see Lil Nas online, I think of all of my younger cousins or relatives I grew up with. So he's very much a baby to me, and I love and protect him, and will die for him. Simply.
Right, and
Yeah, I
Kenzo.
think Lil Nas X, amazing. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, when he first hit the scene, I saw Nas is known, of course, as being, pretty real, militant, radical, very serious rapper, conscious guy. And then when I saw someone call themselves Lil Nas X, I'm like, so this is like the even more militant version. And then Old Town Road came out, and I'm like, and I was just like, this is just not for me. And then I saw what he was doing with it, about how, like, it was causing all this controversy on the country charts and in the country awards. But then, he's working with Billy Ray Cyrus, and then Billy Ray Cyrus was actually being really cool about it and saying, no, this is not my song. This is Lil Nas's song. He was nice enough to put me on here. And like, he was, really kind of fucking with people's minds, and like really, like, jostling people out of what they conceive what a pop star should be like. And then the Satan stuff's amazing. Like,
I love.
uh I can't get over how cool it is.
Yeah, so obviously we're here to talk about we're calling it the moral panic surrounding the dropping of Lil Nas X's most recent chart, which it's really catchy. It like sounds good. It makes my ear holes feel good. We were just listening to it before, and we're talking about the moral panic surrounding that. What's happening? Why it's happening? Who's doing the panicking? Why they're panicking? And of course, hopefully, we can bring a little bit of some leftist analysis and wisdom along the way. And that's why we've brought along Kenzo and Josie. Thank you again for being here. I figure we'll just jump right into it and give you a chance at the very end to let folks know what y'all are up to and where they can find you. How about that? So yeah, I got this right here. You could see Lil Nas X just sort of digging right in. Fucking king of Twitter right now. He's fucking BDE on Twitter. That's something my friend Kenzo taught me this weekend what BDE meant. There's so many different letters in the alphabet, and when you move them around in different ways, they can be really funny. So yeah, Lil Nas X, he's coming out swinging on Twitter this week. I think he's winning. He's just winning. Actually, here's another tweet that we should see as well. He goes, "I had 9 months to plan this rollout. Y'all not gonna win, bro." Who's he talking about?
I was gonna say, was he talking about the rollout of Montero, the song?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
So that's the name of the song?
Yeah, that's also his real name.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or his, government name.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, and so it's the name of the song, Montero. I thought it was Call Me By Your Name.
It's
That's
both.
a parenthetical title.
Very good. Now,
Yeah,
okay, now I know.
yeah.
All right. So he's saying, y'all are not going to win, bro. And he's referring to the people who are panicking? Is that the idea?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's talk about who's panicking and why. What do you think, Kenzo?
Well, I mean, obviously, Caitlyn Bennett is at the very top of the list. The right-wing gun girl who crapped her pants at the party. We all know her and despise her. But yeah, like the first thing she did was she not only, obviously, like the overarching thing that's happening right now is a moral panic, and Caitlyn Bennett decided to take one part of that, which is race panic, and really highlight it by for first she starts by taunting Lil Nas X. Was tweeting screen caps of conversations with his father, and his dad basically saying, "I'm really proud of you." Real sweet kind of messages, which obviously means that Lil Nas X has a relationship with his father. Now, that doesn't stop Caitlyn Bennett from throwing out all of these awful stereotypes, and she quote tweeted his tweet, which was an exchange between him and his father, and saying, "Do you even know who your father is?"
Wow.
Which is just ridiculous racism, and like it made no sense in the context of what was going on. And then Lil Nas X responded with, "I'm gonna fuck yours," or something of that nature. You know, I assumed he meant consensual, like, you know, usually that's what that word means. But Caitlyn Bennett raised the specter of you know, of white woman endangered by a black man by saying he's Lil Nas X was threatening to rape her dad, which is, it's classic. It's, you know, a white racist woman taunting a black man with racial epithets. This is, you know, Emmett Till. This is all of these lynchings. A lot of them started from this, her taunting him simply like defending himself. And then she goes and uses the word rape when no one used that word until she brought it up.
Right?
So like she is really capitalizing off this moment.
Sort of reminded me really quick, and then I'll let you jump in here, Josie. Really quick, reminded me of Amy Cooper. Remember Amy Cooper?
Yeah.
They're just using their whiteness. They're like weaponizing their white womanness against people of color to get their fucking way and like leverage their fucking power in the world. I'm like going nuts over here. It makes me so mad. Josie, make me less mad, please. or not.
I don't know if I can do that.
All right. Well, I'm feeling better already. We're laughing.
No, so it's been watching, in particular, Caitlyn Bennett, but although I've been more so in the trenches of Facebook and TikTok, seeing what the normies, the general public, think of this video and the response to it and all that. And I'm not surprised, you know, that to the average, you know, politically apathetic, kind of removed American, that they're upset by this, because they're not, like, the average person isn't watching the video. They didn't wait till midnight like I did to watch this and like be enticed by it. They're hearing it through word of mouth. It's a rumor being distilled, a rumor panic, right? So everyone getting mad at it, talking about how Lil Nas X is having sex with Satan, or he's like, another person I saw that said that he was disrespecting Satan and disrespecting God, and all this stuff that's allegedly happening in this video that, like, if you actually watch it, it's much more tame than what they're claiming it to be. And a part of that is because they don't want to go and watch it themselves. They kind of just want to take what they're hearing and go by that word of mouth and accept it as truth. My favorite part is that, anecdotally speaking, people I know in real life who are outraged by this do not have children, but are very upset about the children.
Of course.
Nothing new.
I also noticed as well that Cassandra Fairbanks, also sort of a right-wing provocateur, propagandist, I think toxic far right. She's sort of circling the wagons, sort of like, yeah, white girl, like, you're right. He did threaten with rape. And I'm like, what, dude? They're just doubling down. I think Cassandra Fairbanks, while being not, you know, whatever, whoever she is, she's smart enough to know what she's doing. And whereas perhaps Caitlyn Bennett is just so do you think Caitlyn Bennett realizes how fucking racist it is that what she said? And now she has no choice but to like, oh shit, like I sort of stepped in it this time. Do you think she's like doubling down? Do you think she realizes that she's being racist?
I have a bit of a theory about like all of these folks, really. And like, they know exactly what they're doing. And that's not just with racism, but it's like Ben Shapiro, for example, when he was, you know, tweeting about how he talked to his doctor wife and having a wet vagina is a medical condition. I think he deep down knows that is going to play on both sides, that like he's going to get a ton of shares on the left, you know, dissing him, making fun of him, laughing at him. And then on the right, probably people who want to be kind of reassured that, you know, they're not satisfying their wives. Like, I think it's one of those two bites of the apple kind of situations. I have no reason to believe Caitlyn Bennett isn't that racist. Like, she might just be that racist, that like these things just slip out of her mouth. And I don't know if there's like a major conspiracy or anything, because she's an idiot. who found a moment where like she could grab national headlines. Like when she brought her AR-15 or whatever to her college graduation, that put her in the spotlight. And now she has a fan base and she could do whatever the hell she wants with it. They're going to eat it up. And then what kind of helps people like her, Shapiro, Dave Rubin, I think too, because he says a lot of dumb shit that's pretty obviously dumb. They, they get more attention by like people on the left and the liberals sharing their shit to make fun of them. But then people on the right are like, they identify a bit, like when we make fun of the fact that Caitlyn Bennett can't cut carrots correctly. There are people out there like, well, I can't cook either. Maybe she's speaking up for us. Like, it's fun to. I'm not saying we shouldn't dunk on her. I think if we were all very nice to her, that would open up a lot of other problems. That would open up problems of us like saying her speech is equal to ours. So I think we still have to dunk on her. We still have to refute their thoughts and everything, but I do think it's pretty deliberate on their part to leave these little nuggets of racism or stupidity just so everyone's talking about it.
So that sort of goes to answer the question. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Josie.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, these are manufactured situations that the likes of Caitlyn Bennett and others do, like Kenzo said, because they're anticipating responses from all sides. I personally think Caitlyn Bennett is just very dumb and a product of her environment, but also a grifter. So the combination of the two is lethal and has created this monster who torments random people on Twitter now. Or on the streets, like her Liberty Hangout channel does.
Yeah, and if you watch that Liberty Hangout channel, she's getting dunked on a lot. And they keep it in. They don't even like edit out her getting dunked on by like communists or random people on the street. So that's also getting me like, it's all about just page views. Like it doesn't really matter that people don't like her or don't think that she's entertaining. Like it's page views. It's like when they kept up that video of Dasha from Red Scare, like kind of tearing into that InfoWars reporter. Like that did not make InfoWars look good at all by any means, but it was a ton of page views because people on both sides were sharing it.
Question that we had from the chat before we were getting going here. Is it that Lil Nas X gave Satan a lap dance, or do these people just really hate gay people? They really sure like watching Supernatural, Lucifer, and Legends of Tomorrow, all of which have very big arcs involving demons. Where's their posturing then? It's from Gracie from Feminist Critique. Hey, Gracie. Thank you. What do you think?
I think the fact that Lil Nas X is both gay and black plays a big role in how much they're attacking him. Because I think the last time I remember in recent memory something like this happening was, I think, the Netflix show Sabrina or something. There like some like satanic influence or a pentagram somewhere on the show at all or in its media that like made people mad, threatening to cancel their Netflix subscriptions, but then they never do. That was probably the last time a specific satanic panic was relevant, and that was so small in comparison to what is happening now. I don't think I've gone without seeing any pastor that I know of just talking and ripping into this poor guy. Thankfully, Lil Nas X is like thick-skinned. He's rolling with the punches and like fighting back very, very admirably. I, at his age, would not have this kind of like poise and restraint. I would be unhinged.
I like this tweet. Yeah, go ahead, Kenzo. Kenzo, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say, talking about Lil Nas X, and so much of this is very similar to the satanic panic of the 80s in that, Lil Nas X could have made a video where it was just him and a microphone, and at the very end kissed another man, and it would have probably had the same kind of blowback as it did with him going this far. So I think like as an artist, I don't know exactly what his intention was, but I definitely see that, like, if they're gonna go after him anyway, he might as well take it that far and bring up every single taboo, like ultimate taboo. That's the one that we don't even dredge out very often. I mean, I think there's a little fear, I think, in the church that, like, bringing back another satanic panic now would not be as effective as it was in the 80s because people aren't as religious as they used to be. And I think there's a bit of a crisis there within, the usual order that would, be appalled by this. And, if Lil Nas X put this out 30 years ago, like, it's really, I mean, other than stylistically far better, like, it's not that much different than an early Motley Crue video. You have, you have satanic imagery, you have kind of, a dismissal of the church in a way. And he packages up all of his taboos together, and I think it was just brilliant because this is going to keep paying off.
Yeah, I actually think, to your point about people being less religious now, I think that's changing with the pandemic. I wouldn't say that people are like rolling back into like anything in a traditional religious sentiment, but the strong emergence of like crystal mommies and spirituality in that sense. I think if you just rebrand the satanic panic and remove Satan as the demon character and instead make something vaguer, like chemicals or something, that it will reemerge. I think church membership is really down. Traditional religion, as we understand it, is going away, which is cool. We love to see it. But I don't think that it's just going to be absent. I think something will replace it, and I'm starting to see that certain things are replacing it. For some people, it's leftist politics, which, can be good. For other people, it's the amount of people I've seen get into witchcraft, like white women getting into witchcraft, or brujeria, as you say in Spanish, and saying that has been astonishing to me, because they usually will buy like white sage, and I'm indigenous, and so they'll like posture to me like I'm being conscientious of it, I'm doing it the right way, and I'm just like, please don't talk to me, get away from me. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I am curious to see how this will pan out.
One of my favorite tweets regarding this is right here. Love seeing Christians be like, I can't believe LGBTQ teens are worshiping Satan instead of our nice God who hates them. Like, what a fucking perfect take. King of the internet for a day, Jeff. Way to go.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's see. Any other important tweets?
As far as like the Satanism piece, it did just come out of left field, which is what I think is so cool about it. Like, I think like the PMR, it was probably a few things at play, like the Parents Music Resource Center, all the censorship that was happening that struck fear into parents. I think that was part of it. Because what that led to is like retailers, if there was a sticker on a CD, places like Walmart, Target, in some locations, a Walmart just across the board, they just won't carry it unless the manufacturer will edit down the album somehow. That's why, like, there's multiple versions of Nirvana albums and things like that. So I think that played into part of it too. And then just, it became kind of trite after a while. Like, just being a metalhead, there's only so many ways you could say the word Satan and like conjure up that evil, and it fell off. And it was almost kind of like the religious right was sighing a breath of relief. And then Lil Nas X is like, no, we're bringing Satan back, baby.
I literally sing about lean and adultery in Old Town Road. You decided to let your child listen. Blame yourself. They deleted the tweet. Oh
my God.
I love it. You love to see it.
It's true, though.
Yes.
Oh, and that, that Joyner Lucas song he's referencing?
No.
Josie, you know about it?
No.
Oh my God. So the video it's Joyner Lucas and then a white MAGA guy, and he does both the voices in the song. And it's basically like, you know, the bottom line of the song is like, we can all get along. You know, we're both just angry at the system. And I'm just like, dude, fuck you. There
Oh
are
my
good
God.
guys and bad guys out there. Like,
Oh, wow. All right. I think I got a couple questions for us here. Do you think there was like similar outrage when Dali was painting dicks? That's a question from Carl Joe. I honestly don't know how to answer the question. I don't know where to start. We could skip it.
yeah, I'm not much of an-
No
I don't know
takes.
enough about art
No
history
takes, Carl
or
Joe.
dicks to answer that.
Okay.
I think what I will say is just that art is a pretty inaccessible avenue to most people, whereas like Lil Nas X's music, you can't escape it anywhere. It's in your grocery store, in all the radio stations. So this is going to be something much more controversial, much more contested because it's so widely available to everyone. Well, versus Salvador Dali's art, like who's going to know about that? Your cashier won't know. Your teacher won't know.
So I'm wondering, should we make predictions? What's the next moral panic gonna be about?
Oh yes.
Well, go ahead, Josie. I think there's gonna be a few.
Oh my gosh. Well, so for those of you who don't know me, I am a sociologist, and I have so far made appearances on Twitch and whatnot talking about incels, my sons, unfortunately. I think that they come and go, and with the recent shooting that happened in Atlanta at the massage parlors, I think they're coming back. I don't know that. I think that people are going to start pathologizing random human behavior a lot more because of COVID. Children are under socialized. Adolescents are terrifying to me right now because they are stuck inside with their little hormones and don't know what to do. And I anticipate that after this and coming off of it, parents, teachers, right-wing media pundits and the like are going to start pathologizing about like random adolescent behaviors that are pretty innocuous and that have probably existed for, decades, but will now be big and bad again, despite children today being so boring.
What do we think, Kenzo? Do you think there are any moral panics hanging around the corner for us to be aware of? Be looking out for?
Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with like your definition of moral panic.
Okay.
Like, I think the specter that's being raised against China right now, in some ways, is a moral panic. In that it's, how we feel about communism, how we feel about the Chinese Communist Party, or how we feel about China, like that's a multi-layered kind of critique, I think. And there's this rush for us to kind of label China as being good or bad. And it becomes like you yourself, if you're left or liberal, mainly like you get labeled as either good or bad, depending on how you fall on the issue of China. My issue on, my feelings on China are kind of like, there's probably Uyghur abuse. There's definitely been, human rights violations against the Tibetan people. But I also feel like America's been much worse. We've done much worse globally. So to single out China and not, look at ourselves, I think that's we're being sold a bill of goods, and we're being sold basically a war right now. And I think looking at it through the lens of a moral panic is helpful because you can kind of see people's agenda when you look at it that way. You see like, oh, this person is trying to label, this person as being like a bad person. And, this is very similar to the moral panic around just, the Red Scare and communism. But now it's almost even more layered too. And there's like this very specific goal, I think, which is, some sort of international conflict with China. So I keep an eye open there.
Very good. Did we define moral panic at the top of the show? Like, how are we defining this? I'd be happy to do that now instead of not doing it at all.
Ken, so you have the book. Get it out.
Yeah.
I just have scattered chapters on my computer.
Let's see.
Do we call this leftist theory? It's just.
So technically, this is like sociological theory,
Okay.
as far as I understand it. Jeffrey Victor is not the guy who coined it, but who popularized the term.
But was he a capitalist?
I hope not. Every time so this is just my gripe as someone in academia. Every time I fall for someone's work, I'm like, yes, I love your work. Thank you. And I look them up online. They're liberals. This happened to me while I was applying to grad schools this past cycle. I remember I was looking at UC Berkeley at this person who like I thought was really cool. Then I found their blog and it sucks so much. I was like, how did you write all this but are like a Biden supporter from the beginning? I cannot.
History is the same way too. Like there's some very brilliant historians, even brilliant labor historians who have shit politics, like liberal to even centrist, maybe even right-wing politics, but people who, and in some cases you have to cite people that politics are just abhorrent because they're the only people studying a certain discipline. So I think that might be part of why some leftists are reluctant to engage in non-political theory like this.
Yeah.
But I think moral panic, even though it's not written specifically for political economy, it explains so much of our politics better than other political theory. I'd say, like, because like the idea of in public policy, there's this idea of the rational actor theory. And this is also something that like a Marxist isn't going to talk about. But, I went to policy school, and the idea there is we write policies based upon, or, people make decisions for policies based upon what would have the highest benefit to the largest section of people. And it's literally called the rational actor theory because the idea is we are all rational actors. I think moral panics are what clouds that. And like, we don't really have rational actors making rational decisions in society. Like, I mean, there was a moral panic around Bernie being a sexist. And, you didn't want to be associated with Bernie Sanders because that could be associated with all the other horrible things that are associated with him. And you had to kind of prove yourself as being a non-sexist by either not supporting Bernie or saying, I support Bernie, but. And that, that hurts us, that we can't really have a talk about material and materialism if we're so wrapped up in moral panic. So it's something that we have to study, I think, because it helps us understand other people. And it also kind of helps us understand how to better organize people, because people aren't coming, when you go to organize people who have never been like really activated politically, they're not going to have an orthodoxy or political ideology that makes sense in most cases. It's going to be a mixed consciousness that comes from everywhere. And I think a lot of it is painted from moral panic.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think moral panics and rumor panics, like it is something that we as leftists should talk about more, especially considering the fact that they only exist as a response to crises in capitalism, to socioeconomic issues occurring in tandem with when these rumor panics emerge. Like in the 80s, there was a lot going on. Here presently, that's why I said this is a very fertile ground for rumor panics, moral panics to emerge all over the place, which is why I think like this satanic panic with Lil Nas X is just going to escalate into something about adolescence at large. I'm not sure what it'll be. I don't have a bet on that yet, but I think this is just going to continue to get worse. We're all isolated to an extent. Even the workers who are essential and out presently are isolated, can't really convene and engage with their coworkers and loved ones the way they could previously. So the little context I do have will often be to disseminate stuff like Lil Nas X is a Satanist and he's gonna make your kid love Satan or something.
Can I just throw out the irony here that I don't know, is Lil Nas X religious? Do we know about that? Is he an atheist? Because I'll
He
just say,
grew
like,
up
I'm an atheist,
religious.
and they tell me that I'm a Satanist, and I'm like, well, I don't believe in Satan, but you do, because clearly it's a big deal because you're bringing it up. Anyways, I just gotta throw that out there. Hey, I wonder.
That was actually an interesting
Okay.
part of my upbringing.
Yeah.
Like, well, Dan and I, you and I grew up around each other.
Yeah.
Is like, so I grew up, my mother's Jewish. My father is, he was raised Buddhist, but he's basically an atheist, and, you know, taught me at an early age that God didn't exist. And, you know, I kind of struggled with that, but like, that was very much like, I was raised in I call it Jewish household. Like,
Beautiful.
religion wasn't important. And like, I grew up around
With
all
the humor.
Catholics, you know,
Yeah.
all my friends were, you know, Mexican, Italian, Polish. So I, you know, when we all got into metal early on and like Slayer and all these albums, I was just into it because I didn't think that hell or the devil were a real thing. It was all play for, it was like watching a horror film. And then some of my friends were kind of like, dude, what if we end up going to hell for this? And I would just start laughing. I'm like, there is no hell. I don't mean to be a dick. I know we believe in one, but like, I don't think there is one. And it did kind of like, I understood them better. I think I understood also like why this music was so appealing to some people, because it seriously did terrify them. So it is going to be interesting to see how people approach Montero and, you know, this whole campaign that Lil Nas X is in, because I mean, I don't know if this is going to be a continued motif that he works in, or if like other artists are going to pick up on it, or if this is just going to be a giant flashbang that it kind of exposes a lot of contradictions. So yeah, I'm not sure yet.
All right,
I think this is just like a stop on Lil Nas X's journey. I don't think he will like continue with this specific aesthetic and messaging. I mean, overall, his messaging just seems to be, I like to have fun. And this instance of fun was giving Satan a lap dance. And I'm very jealous of. That looks really cool.
So, you know who I've noticed is noticeably quiet about this Lil Nas X video is Caitlyn's husband. Why is he so quiet? Do you think he likes the video?
I don't know. No, I've only seen seen that picture of him. And then there's that video of him eating her cooking. But I don't know much about him.
Sorry.
Well, there's all those rumors about. There's the rumor about he having gone to conversion therapy previously, and then there's another rumor of Caitlyn and her husband meeting at conversion therapy.
But couldn't you see that though? Like one of the directors
could.
of one of these conversion therapy places saying like, you two look like the perfect couple for, you know, selling conversion therapy. So, you know, you're going to be together and you're going to make a bunch of TikToks together. Like I could totally see this being manufactured consent there.
Yeah. So I mean, I get why he's not talking. He doesn't want to like get caught with his foot in his mouth saying the wrong thing. Yeah.
I wonder if there's like a group chat with like him and like what's her name? Abby Shapiro's husband. Like all of these weird nondescript dudes that are in the background that, you know, there's all these rumors about, like where they can kind of unload a bit.
A support for spouses of political pundits. Yeah. That would be great. The Real Housewives of YouTube.
I bet you, it's going to really happen though, even if we don't do a sketch about it. In 10 years, it's going to happen.
They need a grift. They're going to run out of grift. They're going to need something else. What channel is it going to be on?
It's going to be like Dancing with the Stars, I bet. Like,
oh my God.
Not to be stereotypical, but like it's going to be a place where they can kind of, you know, shine in ways that they're afraid to publicly because of toxic masculinity.
That's great. Oh my god. I would love to see Caitlyn Bennett on Dancing with the Stars. She would not get past. She would get eliminated the first round though, and that kind of sucks. I want to see her dance badly throughout.
Like I could see her like demanding to dance with the AR-15, and then like they're saying no, you can't do that, and then she's like, well, I could put down the AR-15 and like maybe get some real fame, or I could just post this on Instagram right now that they're telling me to take away my gun.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I love that. Sometimes I feel like Caitlyn Bennett would love to be Abby Shapiro. Abby Shapiro is like I would say the department store version, and Caitlyn Bennett is the like TJ Maxx Marshalls version. A like conservative female commentator.
Bam. Loved it. Coming in hot. All right. Let's wrap it up. Let's go ahead and let folks know what you're doing. Give yourselves the big spiel, where they can find you, what you do. Of course, your name. Feel free to share your pronouns. I think we skipped that at the beginning, and I apologize. Starting with Josie.
Okay, you can find me at Sociological Bun on Twitter. My pronouns are she, her. And you will also find me at University of Chicago in September because we're doing in-person instruction. So that's exciting.
All right.
Yeah, really excited to have you coming to Chicago, Josie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna bully so many people. Yesterday I had my an info session, and everyone was insane. Oh my god, everyone was so rich and so weird. I'm going on a full ride, so don't think I'm some weird rich bitch. I'm just like poor as hell, but smart. So I got this.
Yeah, you're gonna need to have some. You're gonna need to have some friends out of campus. So like, we'll hang out because UFC is very weird people there. Like I worked on a campaign, a union organizing campaign there. So you meet all the lefties, and they're all cool, chill.
Okay.
I wouldn't know. They're not chill. They're cool, very intense people.
They're
They're like, imagine the average UFC student, but like cool and like with good politics, but still like type A and all that other stuff. But good folks. And then like, you meet the other people on campus, and like, you understand how Milton Friedman, that why that's his school, but it's also, Bernie Sanders. It's also his school.
Yeah,
and
he's an alumni. Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful campus.
I'm going to bully people. That's what I'm
You're going to hear a lot of, don't you know who my dad is when you bully them, though?
Oh, my God.
Or maybe not. Maybe they'll just assume. But, like, yeah, don't bully people with the last name Pritzker, Madigan, Daly.
Oh, my God.
Smart guy. Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, to follow up with me, I am at Kenzo Shibata on Twitter, at Class Time on Twitch, and classtime.gg on YouTube. I do a weekly show with Dan called Meet the Left, where we do a panel of leftists and we shoot the shit about the issues of the week. And then I do a podcast over at patreon.com/Kenzo Shibata, where I talk to mainly like one-on-one, longer form audio interviews. So yeah, those are the places you could find me. And thanks for tuning in.
Thank you all. Thank you, Kenzo and Josie. This was an absolute blast. I think we should think about doing this again sometime, huh?
It's be cool.
Excellent. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and let you go. Have a wonderful day. Peace, comrades. Thank you all very much.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Hey, YouTube. You're watching a clip from my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/IdanSimpson, where you can follow for free and subscribe for only $5 a month. Thanks for watching.